On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, OU baseball head coach Skip Johnson joins us. Then in FGTB, we talk about the Thunder being one win away from the NBA Finals, and we give you our winners and losers of the week. Please download and subscribe to the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and write us a good review. Visit our website, okbreakdown.com. Also follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those and you'll find us. All right, our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, May 28th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Ted, it is a quiet time for OU football. We got a little SEC meeting action going on in Destin. We'll hit that in winners and losers, but we got him, baby.
Yes.
Skip Johnson is truly, he is one of my favorite human beings I've ever interacted with. He is just so delightful.
He is, if you bumped into him somewhere else, you'd have no idea that he is the head coach of an SEC baseball program. He is just regular dude. Fun to talk to, man.
Let's not keep the people waiting any longer. Here's OU head baseball coach Skip Johnson. It is our pleasure to be joined by the head coach for Oklahoma baseball. Skip Johnson is in the house. Coach, how we doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Hanging in there. This is the fun time of the year, man. Postseason baseball is where everything picks up. You guys got some good stuff rolling right now, so just excited, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think the opportunity is there, and we played really good early. Did okay middle way through. Got it going. Late didn't play as good, but here of late we've played really good. So I think we're excited about it. I think that's the biggest thing. The opportunity is really good. Like our draw, maybe we'd rather be at home, but it just didn't happen, and now we're on the road.
You mentioned the draw, Coach. Why do they like sending y'all to ACC schools so much? Have you ever been able to figure that out? What is this, like 5 of 7 or something crazy like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, I think once that committees get in there and they start trying to dice this thing up and they look at different deals and they match up super regionals and stuff like that, it seems like it's regionalized a little bit, maybe, and maybe some of the bigger schools travel a little farther. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those deals. I'm just glad that we're in, and I'm glad that we're getting the opportunity for sure.
What do we know about North Carolina, Nebraska, Holy Cross? What do you know about any of those schools?
Well, every one of them are good. They wouldn't be in the tournament, number one. Nebraska seems to be playing really good as late. I think they've won 9 out of the last 11, won the Big Ten, beat a good UCLA team that's hosting. Of course, North Carolina, I think they're older baseball team. They did a great job in the portal last year from going to Omaha, and it'll be a great venue. Holy Cross is going to be a team that, I mean, that's the thing about baseball is there's so much more parity in baseball than there ever has been. It's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, you think in Northeastern, they won like 20. I think they're going to Florida State Regional. I think they're going to. I think they've won 27 games in a row. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's one of those deals where it's pretty awesome for baseball in a sense. I mean, it's getting older. I mean, every team is getting older. I think maybe there's 6 or 7 freshmen that played in the SEC this year. I mean, it was. I mean, every weekend's like playing uh, OU Texas football game.
Yeah, that's a really interesting comparison, Coach. And how I would say it was a successful year one in the SEC. How do you how well prepared do you and your guys feel for the postseason after going through what you did in conference play?
Well, I think it does prepare you. Our conference prepares you for that, and our conference tournament is like Omaha. I mean, we're sitting there. We get there. We do a press conference. We go out to the field and practice. Can't practice on the field because it rained all night. So we're getting ready. Next morning that we get up and play. We get a police escort to the field just like we do in Omaha. The venue's a little bit smaller. Everything is almost identical to Omaha. I think that's the difference because you play in such a big atmosphere and environment that it prepares you for these type of environments and playing. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's really a football environment, an atmosphere with the fans in a baseball arena.
Well, when you get into like the regional play, a lot of it is kind of who can survive the longest with pitching, right? If you can get a lot of innings out of some starters and not have to burn up some of your bullpen, like how do you like what's the strategy, I guess, as you go into this thing? Do you start and try and win all the games you can right away, or are you looking at matchups down the road? Like how do you
No,
present
I
that?
think the biggest thing is just try to win just take it one pitch at a time, one inning at a time, and be where your feet are, be present. But the thing about this league and the thing about postseason baseball, it's I mean, if you watched our last game, we made 4 or 5 errors, all right? And when you're in postseason baseball and you walk a guy or you make an error, you give a free 90 up or anything that happens, it takes the momentum out of your dugout and puts it in their dugout. And it's crazy how that goes. And you're just fighting for the momentum all the time. And you're fighting for that momentum because it gives you confidence. That momentum gives you confidence and weird things happen. I mean, hitting's contagious. And so you've got to really play good defense. You got to play good catch. You got to throw strikes. You've got to get timely hits. You've got to execute the details of the game that's given to you, that the game's telling you to do. If you got a bunt, you get a bunt. If you're sitting there trying to play for a 3-run homer all the time, sometimes that just doesn't happen. And you're always going to face a good arm and a good bullpen when you get in the postseason. Like, I think the difference for me from the Big 12 and the SEC this year was the bullpen as much as anything. I mean, these guys were coming out 93 to 96, 97, 98 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour out of the bullpen.
I
It
remember
was,
that LSU game. They just kept bringing guys that were like 6'6" out of the bullpen. I was like, when does this stop?
it doesn't, Teddy, it doesn't because uh, they got a lot of NIL money.
Yeah.
They can go out and they can give a guy some money and keep those guys from signing a professional contract. It makes a big difference.
No doubt. Now, how are you feeling about your pitching staff as a whole as you head into the regional? Clearly, Kyson has been one of, if not the best pitcher in college baseball this season. But like, how are you feeling about the staff as a whole, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I really, I think right now we're healthy. We got a guy named Dylan Tate back. He threw one inning. He was 90, 96, 97, 99 miles an hour throwing strikes. Kyson has been the bell cow, so to speak, all year long. He's taken the ball, and just like last week, he took it on 5 days rest. I go out to the mound. I waddle out to the mound in the third inning, and I go, "Hey, man, just let him hit the ball." And he kind of looked at me and said, "Yeah, let him hit the ball, just execute pitches." It might have been one of his best starts of the year. I mean, his stuff was electric. And he works extremely hard. You guys, if y'all saw his day-to-day work, you would almost say it was obsessive at times, but his focus level, I think the elite do that, and their focus level is at a high level, and I think that's what really drives him. And then we got Malachi. You know, he's really good. I mean, his best outing of the year was against Texas. He set it 97 and to 101. I mean, it was the best outing he's had. And then you have K Cross on that through. He's been better. His 2 games ago, he was really good. Last game, he probably would have been good if we'd have played better catch. Who knows? But and I think that's the biggest difference is and then our bullpen's kind of set up with Jamie and Bowden and some of the younger guys. I mean, in the Big 12 or in the SEC tournament, we started Barfield and we came in with Hit, and then we finished the game off with Crooks. It was, I mean, they pitched extremely well. We started a freshman on a Tuesday, and I'd watched him pitch in the state championship game, and it didn't overwhelm him. So, I thought it'd happen again. He pitched really good, which is a great sign.
It was good to see Taki back out there getting some at bats. Uh, I didn't like that he ended up having to be put in a spot where he's trying to leg everything out to first base. But what's his status? Is he going to continue to DH? Are you going to be able to get him out in the field?
Well, we need him to get out in the field. I think he'll play the field. He took ground balls yesterday. He'll take ground balls at practice this morning before he get on a plane. He's getting better every week. Think about it. It was 5 weeks will be Friday that he broke the weight bearing bone above his ankle. So I mean, that tells you what how tough the kid is, and we need him out there because he's so good defensively. He adds a little bit different um, uh, aspect to the team. I mean, it's like his leadership on the infield is really good. His presence on the field is really good, and so I think that's a big difference as much as his defensive play for us.
Coach, when you think about the season as a whole and where you guys are at right now, is there anybody, maybe like a guy or two, that you look at and you go, man, this guy has just gotten so much better this season?
Yeah, Jamie Hitt's one of them. Jamie Hitt is one of them. Malachi is one of them. Crossland, I still think he's got so much room to grow. I just hope he doesn't sign a professional contract. I kind of worry about that. Um, my job, and I tell these guys when they go out and they're here, I want those guys to skip double A, or I want those guys to skip A ball. I want them to be so good they skip A ball and they start in double A. And I think that's a good go in teaching those guys how to deal with the failures of the game and the experiences of the game as much as anything. I think those guys got better. I think Easton Carmichael's gotten better throughout the year. I think it's been, of course, a up and down roller coaster for Branch. I mean, he's dealt with some stuff. He can really play defense. The guy that is probably gotten better than anybody overall is probably Trey Gamble, our left fielder. I mean, we went in from the fall, like he struggled in the fall, and then all of a sudden he gets back, man, he's a different animal. And he's had a really good spring season, and he's been put in different roles, like leading off, hitting in the 5-0, hitting in the 6-0. I mean, he's had some really good at bats.
I think about the couple years ago when you guys made the run all the way to the finals. And a lot of it's just maybe getting hot at the right time. Is there a way that you sense that, or does it start to happen? The guys kind of rally around each other. Like, where's the magic come from, so to speak?
I think the magic comes from their camaraderie as much as anything. How the team comes together and they start believing in each other. The synergy from them believing in each other gets them hot. They never think they're out of a game. They think they can win every game, so they start really practicing on, hey, we're going to win this inning. We're going to win the next inning, and we take the momentum over in a game and keep the momentum. I think that's where it comes from. That magic really comes from their team spirit, and as much as anything.
That and the unhittable slider, I
Yeah.
guess, from Cade Horton.
Well, I mean that you could see Malachi do what Cade
Yeah,
Horton did.
that's
You
kind of
know?
what I was hoping. I mean,
Yeah.
him coming off that best outing,
Yep.
and having that confidence, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, I think that you could see that for sure in Malachi moving forward. There's no doubt about that.
I do want to ask you about, and I don't want to ask you to rank guys, but Tyson Witherspoon, he's got to be up on the list of guys you've coached in college. I mean, just how special of stuff does he have now? And like, what do you think he can be ultimately as a big leaguer, coach?
I think he could be a 1, 2, 3 starters in a big league. There's no doubt in my mind. He ranks up there with every first rounder I've coached. Um, he has the ability. I don't know what it is. It's like the unique ability to slow the game down and just make one pitch. And it's really he takes a an offensive mindset into a defensive position. He's offensive on the mound. He's attacking, 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 attacking. You know, sometimes he'll get the only thing that he's got to continue to work on is he'll try to strike the guy out instead of just executing a pitch. And that goes for a lot of people. They get out of uh, control when they do that. Like, I mean, there's one time, and I think he had punched out like 5 or 6 in a row, and he had it going on, and all of a sudden he walked two, and that's kind of where he'll get out of control, where he starts punching guys out instead of just executing pitches. And I think that's been the biggest difference. I mean, he's posted every week, which is, and I mean posted. He's 5, 6, 7 innings every week, which has been really fun to watch. He ranks up there as good as anybody I've ever coached. If I had to win a game to save my job, he'd be one of the guys I'd be asking.
Yeah, and I love how good his stuff is late. You know what? That last
Yeah.
start he had, he was close to 100 pitches, and that curveball was still snapping like crazy. I feel like that pitch kind of came. Did that come later when he started throwing
Well,
that curveball?
well, it's kind of funny, Teddy. We talked about it as a freshman year, and when he got here, guys, he didn't even have a breaking ball hardly. So we started working on a cutter hybrid slider. Then in this November, I'm out working with younger guys, and he's just playing catch. And I've been telling him to work on the curveball, and all of a sudden he starts throwing it. I said, "Hey, wait till January. We'll start throwing a little bit more." And as we evolved through the spring, we started throwing it more and more and more, and it's kind of got those guys off the 90, 95 to 97, 98 mile an hour fastball. What's amazing about those guys, Teddy, I mean, Gabe, you guys know this. So you've played 4 quarters and you've played defensive football, or you've played offense and you've been running and you've been hitting people, and you're like, man, it's hot. I mean, you're like, damn, it's getting hot out here. Man, well, his 90th or 100th pitch the other day was 98 miles an hour. I mean, he still had that endurance and that stamina sitting in the tank. I think that's a tribute to a few things: his work ethic, our strength program, our development program. I mean, I mean, it's like Secretariat winning by 27 links. How does that happen in Belmont Stakes? I guess that's when he did it, or she did it, or whatever the horse was. But you think about that. I mean, it, it just doesn't happen. I mean, Malachi on his 88th pitch, he struck a guy in the 6th inning against Texas, and I walk over and I look at the iPad, and we have TrackMan on the iPad, and it said 99 miles an hour in his 88th pitch, and I was like, damn, that's incredible. You just
Yep.
don't see that. I mean, you see guys that like Crossing will be 95 to 97, 98 in the first inning, then it'll be 93, 94, and he'll kind of sit at 90, 92, kind of work into it. But sitting there for that long, man, is pretty amazing.
You you mentioned the track man. How how much do you use all of the analytics, the spin rates, all that stuff that have become such a big deal in baseball? Like, how do you balance using all that data and then kind of the knowledge you've accumulated as a pitching coach over decades, like how do you blend all of that to work with your pitchers?
Well, I'm kind of old school too. I feel like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the clip of Billy Jack or not. He's the old martial arts guy. I'm fixing to put my right foot on the right side of your face. You can't do a damn thing about it. And the guy says, "Really?" And he goes, "Whack." I'm still old school like this. I'm fixing to throw this fastball right there, and you can't do nothing about it. I'm gonna throw this breaking ball. I used a little bit of that, but I think the analytic stuff, it kind of tells you, it identifies who you are. You're either a sinker baller, side to side guy, or you're a ride guy, and you kind of match up breaking balls with that. And you also can get analytics in the swing. This guy struggles hitting side to side. He struggles hitting vertical. You kind of look at it, what they struggle hitting. You kind of use all that, and you try to blend it into a blender, so to speak, and figure out, really just try to simplify it, because you can also make it where you're like scratching your head like, what the hell am I doing? And it's really just about simplifying it, throwing the ball to target, because that's the only thing you can control. You got to simplify and identify what they do, how they are, and also use that for confidence. If a guy's got a dead zone fastball, and you just got to throw it in places where the hitter struggles if he's got a dead zone fastball. But if he's got a breaking ball to go with a dead zone fastball, he pitches probably off his breaking ball more than his dead zone fastball. So you got to kind of use those things to really help you. And we've really it's kind of crazy. I mean, we're kind of old school here too, but we've got the analytics to really help us, and we've gotten better every year. I mean, what we've done since I've been here is really, and what we've accomplished has been really uh, good, and we're so grateful for it to get the opportunity. Our staff has done such a great job. I mean, as you guys well know, I mean, we don't have the best facilities that people come in and recruit to. But you know what we're doing? We're making guys better, and we're every day putting our head down and punching the time clock and trying to get better and trying to build a good culture. You invest in the kids, and you invest in the culture and the relationships of it. That's the most important thing for me. And I would rather do that. And when that is gone, I'm just going to go hunting and fishing, and it's about relationships with me. It really is. It's really investing our time in helping those guys be a good father, a good husband. A guy that you send that skips A ball and goes to double A. Like watching Cade Horton pitch last night. It was it. You've done something to help that young man be in control of himself in that big, big, big environment. I mean, it was packed in there, and but he's that type of guy.
Well, before I ask you if you've got any good ponds around here to catch some bass, I almost forgot, but I had to ask you about this because I almost ripped my TV out of the wall. You got runners on second and third. Pitcher throws the high ball. Catcher doesn't bring it down, knocks it over here, and he goes and scoops it with the mask.
Yeah.
And you guys call it from the dugout.
Yeah.
That it's like a catcher's balk.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should have got a run across.
Yeah.
And the ump says he called a dead ball. Was
Well,
on the broadcast?
so
I couldn't tell much. Like the
yeah.
guys acted like it wasn't a big deal. I was like, "What are you talking about? We should
Yeah.
get a run across."
Yeah, well, it cost us to run. I was up there at the other end of the dugout. Just got through giving an interview, and so I'd walk down, and Beno and Reggie are going crazy, and I'm like, what's going on? And they tell me, so I go out there and I ask him. I'm like, dude, he's looking at me the whole time. He said, well, I called timeout verbally, and I didn't use the old saying I usually use, like, I've been to 2 goat roping, 4 chili cook-offs, and 5 rodeos, and I ain't never seen some shit like that. But called, but I didn't use it. I was like, never mind, man. You know what? I'm just gonna go stick my tail between my legs and go back to the dugout, because that's also the thing, Teddy, that I love about baseball is the human mistake in a game. Umpires are part of the game, even though we hate it at times. They're part of the game. And if we use that as an excuse, the reason why we lost by a run or two, then you know what? We're not good enough to move on anyway.
I'm gonna have to memorize that saying. I'm gonna work on that right after this, Coach.
Well,
Now,
first you have to go to the goat roper. You can't just say
Yeah.
that you
you're
haven't
right.
been goat roping.
I gotta experience some of that stuff, and then that's fair. That's fair. Now, circling back to the regional, if you guys, in order to advance, Coach, what are kind of the keys for your team to get out of this regional in Chapel Hill?
Play defense, score runs, um, and throw strikes, and take care of the baseball. That's the biggest thing. Just be themselves. I mean, Malachi's going to give you good effort. Kyson's going to give you a good effort. The kids on the field are going to give you good effort. We don't have magic dust over there in that locker room that goes, hey, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to throw some magic dust on top of them. They're going to be somebody different. They're not. Just keep playing the game and play 27 outs, no matter what the scoreboard. I told Jake Irvin, he's in the big leagues with the Washington Nationals. We're my first year as a pitching coach here, and Rob Fulton, he was our trainer at the time. I told him, I said, hey man, what I want you to do is shove him up underneath the stands, tell him not to look at the scoreboard, but I want you to tell him this every time he walks out there. Your faith is more important than your result. The faith is more important than the result. And what that means is your practice, what you've done in practice, is more important than the result. And never look at the scoreboard. And I mean, we're beating one of those guys 1-0 through 8 innings that game. And really, that's what it's about. Don't even look at the scoreboard. You just go out and throw the ball at the target and deal with the outcome that's thrown to you. I mean, this really, I mean, if we give up a 3-run homer in the first inning, I mean, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. You know, we just got to keep attacking. Don't let them attack you. I don't know what it is about the spirit of the game. If you attack it with conviction, if you pitch with conviction every pitch, then good things happen to you. If you think negative things are going to happen to you, negative things happen to you. It's no different than football. If you're sitting across from a guy and you go, man, that guy's bigger than me, instead of knowing how to get around him or get through him or the play you're going to make, it's got to be the same. You got to have conviction in what you do.
I've heard you say it a million times. You said it earlier. As a little league coach myself, okay, watching my son's teams, it all boils down to this: did we play catch or not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's it. You could talk about how did you hit and all this other stuff, but I mean, a lot of times it comes down to the simplest things, right? Can you get the outs whenever they're there? Can you throw the ball where you're supposed to? But I mean, I'm thrilled. This is going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and getting teaching a young man or a kid how to hit is getting a good pitch to hit and playing good catch and know where the ball's going. Get your outs on time. Get your outs on time, and hit good pitches. You can't hit balls hard. You can hit mistake pitches hard. It's kind of unusual. I took Ted Williams' ball chart at 7 baseballs across, 10 balls out, 70 baseballs, 35 ball. If you're sitting here, you can see. And the batting average when you throw it in the 35 balls that you can see is about 330 to 380. If you throw it in the bottom or the inside of the top where they can't see them, the batting average is about 120 and 160. But here's what happens: everybody wants to throw hard instead of locate. And throwing hard helps you make mistakes within the 35 balls you can see. But if you can throw hard and locate, oh, that's it, man. It's like having a good donut in a good location. You're going to make a lot of money. But you can also have a bad donut in a good location and make a lot of money. You can have a bad donut or a great donut in a bad location and not make any money.
That's the best way to put it. I love it.
Well, I was the first base coach for my son's t-ball team this season, coach, and my only advice when he went to the plate was swing hard. That was it. That's all I gave him.
Yeah, just see the ball and hit the ball. That's all you can do. You can't get a hit. All you can do is try to swing hard and hit a ball hard.
You're the man, Skip.
Did you get thrown out? I heard you got thrown out at T-ball game.
I didn't get thrown out, not once. I was Mr. Positivity. I was Mr. Positivity. It was
You're the positive dog, huh?
we did the whole thing. You know, you have some of the T-ball kids where they get it and then they run and tag the kids. We didn't do that. I consulted some baseball guys and they said, no, teach them to throw it to first base. Get the ball and throw it to first base. So that's what you would literally just hear me say, stay on your feet and throw it to first. That was my my guidance in the field.
You guys are going to lose a bunch of games now, but it's going to pay dividends later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm teaching the rules of the game. We weren't concerned about the score.
Yeah. So I got two boys. My oldest son's a head baseball coach at McLennan Junior College, and they're in the Junior College World Series right now. And my youngest son is an agronomist in South Texas. And so I'll never forget my youngest son in T-ball. He was coming around home plate, and you know how they stand right on top of the plate. I mean, he ran him smooth over. I mean, planted him, right? And my wife's like yelling and screaming at me to get over and get him. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she's like, you need to get him. I'm like, no. I was like, so we get in the truck. I said, Garrett, what'd you do? He said, I saw it on TV last night. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, he gets thrown out of the game in a T-ball game for running the catcher over. What was I supposed to do?
What did you want me to do differently, Dad?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Skip, you're the man. Best of luck this weekend. Obviously, we'll be cheering like hell for you.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great day, and Boomer.
Hitting the highway? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway. And with the Love's app, you can also save big. How big? 10 or 15 cents big. Save 10 cents per gallon on gas and 15 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app today and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to fire up your cookouts than with Didier Ranch's steak burgers made from 100% premium cuts of steak. These burgers are the real deal. Juicy, flavorful, and packed with that rich, beefy taste that you love. Plus, they're shipped right to your door, so you can spend more time doing what you love and less time shopping. Head over to DidierRanch.com now and use code SOONER for a special discount on your first order. Get ready to taste the best burgers you've ever had. Proudly raised 100% in Oklahoma. Didier Ranch, steak in every bite.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, an Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. Vacation season is almost here, and the new Simple Modern Getaway Bag is the perfect companion for every summer adventure. Whether packing for a beach trip, a weekend getaway, or a long road trip, the Getaway Bag's durable rubber sides makes it easy to carry everything you need and just as easy to rinse clean after a day of sand, sun, and fun. It's built to handle it all and go everywhere you want to go this summer. Plus, with 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, you're helping Oklahomans everywhere. Simple Modern, it's good everywhere. All right, time for some football, guys, talking basketball, FGTB, and what a massive, massive Game 4 win for the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road. Dude, how much fun was that? At the start of that fourth quarter, I was going, this is either going to feel so good or it's going to hurt so bad. And I'm so glad that it felt so good.
No, that was great. Some clutch shots down the stretch. I mean, that Minnesota crowd was trying to will them to victory, and credit the Thunder just hitting dagger after dagger. They'd try to make a run and we'd shut it down with a huge three or a huge play, hit foul shots late, defended incredibly well as always. I mean, to me, that was by far the most entertaining game of the series. I mean, we've kind of had some blowouts one way and the other, but that one was impressive.
The Thunder survived the game where Minnesota's bench was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they got out of there with a win. I mean, DiVincenzo had 21. Nickeil Alexander-Walker may have been their best player in the game. I mean, I thought he was really, really good. He had 23. I mean, you got a little bit from Naz Reid. Like the Thunder's bench was outscored 64-27 by Minnesota's bench. But Shea, J-Dub, and Chet played like a true big three.
Yeah.
I mean, 49 and 10 for Shea, 34 for J-Dub. I also thought he had some really, really good stretches defensively. And Chet with 21 and some huge defensive plays.
Big around the rim. That was also, I thought Chet, I think that was a kind of a glimpse of what he can become a little more routinely, I guess. He's still, I think, just kind of scratching the surface. You could tell like he's super effective, but he's not quite polished to where he's that complete player yet. So I think he's still got plenty of room to grow, but that was big to have him have that type of game when you needed it on the road.
Thought the Thunder did an excellent job against Anthony Edwards. Playing against Lou Dort just looks exhausting. And I think Edwards got to the point, like, there's just some situations where it looked like he just wasn't willing to empty the gas tank and do what he needed to do to go get the ball.
Yeah,
which was like interesting because
there's a relentless pressure there, right? Like people are always pawing at the ball, and oftentimes you can, you catch a pass, you're in good position, and you can kind of take a little bit of time to see what you're going to do with the basketball and what's the right play. And it feels like if you do that with the Thunder and you just any moment, if you stand there with the basketball, someone's coming from somewhere to rip and grab at it. It's just, it's like someone's choking you the entire game.
I was really impressed. I thought, I thought you could see a little bit of the contrast between Shea and Anthony Edwards. Like no matter what, Shea was going and getting the ball late in the game.
Yep.
Now he made some really, really nice passes. None better than the one where he falls down and throws it through McDaniels' legs for J-Dub to hit that three. That was such a cool play. I mean,
Well, the camera work was awesome too. As he falls down and passes it, they just keep zooming in on his eyes and he's watching the shot from the ground. That was awesome.
That one will be on the championship DVD if it happens, right? But I just thought that Edwards, like if you're the star player, which he absolutely is, and I know that the Thunder were throwing a ton of great defenders at him, but if you're that dude, you got to go and get the ball. Yep. And he just didn't really do that. So I don't know, but he's certainly catching some heat for how he played in that one. I thought Jalen Williams was it may be his best game in a Thunder uniform. When you think of everything that was on the line, the types of shots he hit, the things he did defensively, just how huge he was in the fourth quarter for that team. Maybe it's not even a debate. Like that's his best game in a Thunder uniform. And he's played some good ones, man. But
given the circumstances, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
he was so good. And then there was the ending of that game. It's beautiful when you execute the foul up three strategy perfectly, Ted. Beautiful. I really wish Shea wouldn't have missed that free throw and it wouldn't have come to that. It started a big discourse. Oh, the NBA has to outlaw this. What?
Outlaw winning games strategically. Are we talking? This is like a tush push conversation all of a sudden. Well, my question is, what's the deal with Doris Burke?
We have, as far as I can remember, Thunder fans have never had a beef with a broadcaster. But she has said, like, when she said The quote was, "This is why he's called the free throw merchant," as if that is Shea's nickname in the basketball world. It's honestly just unprofessional. And it's surprising from Doris Burke because Doris Burke has been, there's a reason she's got the job she has. She's been very solid in the past. And it seems like she's paying too much attention to NBA Twitter. Like it's really strange that she's not just focusing on the action. And Richard Jefferson is like going out of his way to try to counterbalance it.
He's like trying as hard as he can to keep the vehicle on the highway, right? He's like trying to steer it back in the right direction. It's
in the weird. It's beyond weird because it was on a play where Rudy Gobert clearly fouled him, like hits him on the arm. Like it's a foul. It is what it is. Hey man, it's a foul. Is he going up into the guy's arm? But yes, it's a shooting motion. The guy hits him on the arm. It's an obvious foul. And she's like, well, this is why he's called the free throw merchant. Doris, pipe down.
He's called the free throw merchant because you continue to say it on the national broadcast over and over.
I know, I clearly know a lot of Thunder fans. I know a lot of basketball fans. A lot of people are starting to switch over to Legler and Rucco and Goldsberry, like what are they calling it? Like the Insight Cast or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I kind of understand why. Like no Thunder fan wants to listen to Doris Burke talk about our franchise player the way that she has. It's really odd. And Ted, you and I know very well, like calling games is not easy. It's not easy at all.
Especially whenever you have to do it and be neutral, and not feel like you're favoring one side or the other.
It is, but I would say she's making unforced errors by emphasizing this whole thing so much instead of just calling the action. It's odd, man. We're obviously biased because we're Thunder people, but
I've heard it. Like it's a talking point. It's not just Thunder fans that have noticed it. It's become a talking point. That's why I say it's the strangest thing because it's not one game. It's not one piece of one game. Like this has gone on throughout the playoffs and it's like getting worse as it goes. Let me just say that I honestly don't care. It's to the point now where I almost think it's funny. Like I'm expecting it and just kind of laughing at it.
This crew is calling the finals as well. Now, does that mean? But someone needs to tell her, hey, stop saying that. Like, there's got to be a producer from ESPN be like, listen, I'm not trying to censor you in any way, but this is not helping us. You're calling the MVP of the league the free throw merchant as if that's like his official nickname from basketball people, which it is not. It's like a very small, very loud section of Twitter.
And they're wrong.
Richard Jefferson keeps bringing stats to the conversation, but he's like, that's not it. He's trying, to Richard Jefferson's credit, he's trying his best not to go, Doris, would you shut up about the free throw merchant thing? It may happen. It may happen at some point if she keeps doing it.
Oh, man. That would be entertaining, right?
It almost feels like it's to that point. Like you can feel Richard Jefferson's annoyance at the topic.
What'd he say? He's like, I play however many years in the league, and I averaged more free throws than Shea is right now.
And Breen was like stunned. Which I will say, some people have pointed out that Breen seems to get a little more excited about some of the Timberwolves stuff than the Thunder stuff. If you listen to a highlight and you listen to the voice inflection, that's typically like whose building you're in for a play-by-play guy, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I think you'll hear some more excitement from him
Well,
tonight for Game
I
5
also
when he's.
I also think it's, if you're calling a game, you naturally you want it to be a good game, right? You want it to build to an end, so you almost like you're going back and forth for whoever needs to hit those shots, or I don't know. It's been an interesting dynamic, and I'm not begging for a new crew, or I honestly don't care. It's gotten to the point now where it's almost just like a another interesting piece of usually the broadcast has nothing to do with the game, right? But this has added like an interesting another little thing that you can follow along with as you follow the game. The dialogue between Doris Burke, Richard Jefferson is pretty good.
It's something. It's certainly something that pretty much every Thunder fan I know is talking about.
Yeah, it's wild.
I could you imagine like Shea hits a shot. Worst case scenario right here. Shea hits a shot late in the game that is sending the Oklahoma City Thunder to the finals. And Doris Burke says something to the effect of, and the free throw merchant is sending the Thunder to the finals or something like, could you imagine?
The free throw merchant pulls it off.
The free throw merchant strikes.
It's wild. It is a very, very interesting development in the NBA playoffs. It's been wild.
Did we hit everything about Game 5? We got very sidetracked by the Doris Burke conversation.
I think
The only
so.
thing, how about that fan catching the ball? I got to put that in my. I wrote that down. Not illegal.
Okay,
Save some time.
that whole situation was strange to me. I thought maybe it was Gobert as Shea tried to throw it down there. I thought he touched it, and that's why it went kind of into the stands. And I thought that I saw some Thunder guys going to say that, but they never even looked at it.
I
Never showed that angle again. They just kept showing the basketball on the other side.
and then the guy caught it with 0.6, and then they put 0.3 on with no explanation.
Yeah, do they judge when it would have hit the ground? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. There was no explanation. Interesting. Heads up play by the fan though.
That's something that everyone that's going to be sitting courtside needs to pay attention to.
Need to put that up if that could be a scenario in the game. Just like, hey,
Hey guys, listen.
have your hands ready. And if your team is winning, put your hands behind your back. Just let the ball hit you in the face.
That's right.
Or no, move. Get out of the way of the ball so the maximum amount of time goes off the clock. Let it hit the ground.
That's right. Interesting.
It reminded me of it was Nebraska and Texas in that Big 12 championship game, right? Where McCoy threw it out of bounds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo,
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, there's one more play.
Yeah. That was wild.
All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
Oklahoma's favorite pub, Pub W, is a modern American pub offering a great new take on classic drinks and cuisine. They offer an extensive beer and specialty drink selection with something for everyone, and that's exactly why Pub W was voted best happy hour. And we all love a delicious brunch. Pub W brunches served Saturdays and Sundays until 2 p.m. with some of the most delicious brunch offerings you'll find anywhere. Now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Visit one of their 6 Oklahoma locations. Visit pubdub.com for locations and menus.
Insurica has launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
As always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Well, I figured I'd go with Destin, Florida, hosting the SEC meetings. And quite a bit coming out of there so far. There's all kinds of stuff. You got Sankey popping off. I won't be lectured about the good of the game. Venables down there with some good information about Jaden Gibson, the Gibsons, I guess.
The Gibsonses.
So there's plenty of good stuff coming out of the SEC meeting so far.
A lot of portal window talk, a lot of college playoff format talk, whole lot going on in Destin. But yeah, Sankey didn't seem pleased with maybe how he's being characterized over the last couple of weeks. Like, is this big bully trying to strong arm the rest of college football? I don't know. What'd you think of what he had to say?
I personally, I thought it was good. I mean, he's right. The SEC probably would have been just fine with the 14 playoff. They were moving along quite well under that formula. And, you know, it's hard because there's a bunch of moving pieces, and obviously everyone is going to negotiate or lobby for the best of their conference or their school. It's a hard puzzle to make work. You know, everyone wanted a piece. They wanted more participation. They got it. Nobody liked it. They want to expand. And whenever you have the majority of the good teams and the good games, I mean, he makes some good points, but nobody's ever going to like the system, right? It's always going to leave someone a little exposed, not making as much money, not as well represented. It's tough. And, you know, he does end up being the scapegoat. I personally, I'm not a fan of the automatic bids, but I can understand the point with the best teams playing the toughest schedules to use that as a leverage piece.
Yeah, it's that simple for me. And we got to be honest, maybe we'd feel differently if OU wasn't in the SEC. Like if OU was still in the Big 12, maybe we'd feel very differently about what Greg Sankey is saying. I don't know.
It's true, but the formula changes if OU and Texas are still in the Big 12.
Exactly. Then it's probably a different conversation. But it just kind of feels like how the rest of life goes.
Yeah.
Like if you have like people that have the most valuable products and leverage, they usually utilize that to their advantage. Like, isn't that life? You know what I mean?
Hey, if you've got the product and there's not many competitors, it's the most expensive. That's how it goes.
And Greg Sankey, while he's operating under the current rules, this is not like a professional sports league where the revenue is distributed evenly.
Right.
Like that's not how this is. Like there's still these factions battling for power in college football, and it's important. Yes, Greg Sankey has to look out for the overall well-being of college football. Like that's a small part of his job. But his job description is literally do what is best for SEC schools. That's his job.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm not going to get mad at the guy for doing his job at a high level and trying to leverage the strength of that conference to his best ability. He's just doing his job, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a given weekend in the fall, you've got, I don't know, between the Power Four, you got what, 30 some games. And the SEC, almost every single week of those 30 games is going to have, 6, 8 of the top games. And the rest is a lot of filler. I mean, it's a bunch of like non-championship competitive teams that are battling it out. That's where the eyeballs are. That's where the talent is. I mean, so it's not that he's only negotiating for the SEC. It's a hard fact that that's where the majority of the good games are. That's the majority of the eyeballs. So, I mean, I don't know what the right way to approach it is, but they're going to leverage the best. And it's the same thing with, you've got the conferences and then you've got the television piece, which is where all the money comes from. And I got news for you. The TV people want the big games. They want the big fan bases. That's who they want in those games. I mean, it's a hard reality.
There's just no doubt. Venables saying Jaden Gibson, and credit to our guy George Stoya, who's down there reporting on all of this stuff that's going on. Him saying they expect Gibson to be ready to go for the regular season. That's the first time we've heard anything about the kid in a long, long time. And that's great news, right? Now is it a, hey, we're going to have to see it to believe it situation though?
It feels like, I hate it. I hate that that's kind of how it is, but I was amped up to have Jaden Gibson back. He stayed through. He had the injury last year, which was brutal, and then re-aggravated. I don't know what he did before spring, so that hurt. I know he's itching to get back out there too, but they say he's going to be ready for the fall. I hope that's the case. I mean, it's one of those things that we haven't really even mentioned whenever you talk about the wide receivers, like who's coming back and what the possibilities could be, what the combination of starters and personnel packages could look like. We really haven't mentioned him because you just don't know. And if you have a healthy 100% ready to go Jaden Gibson in the fall, that has the potential to be a huge addition.
No doubt. With his size and athleticism, we really just haven't gotten to see him have a season as an impact guy.
Yeah.
2 years ago, yeah, we saw flashes, but we haven't seen him play extended time. And I just want to see it. I just want to see the guy be healthy and be out on the field. But I
totally agree.
It's one of those things where, yeah, I'm excited that this is the update we've been given by Venables, but until I see him out there on Saturdays, I'm just going to be kind of thinking, okay, what are we getting from all the other guys? With, when you have a significant knee injury and then a big setback, there's a lot of uncertainty there for me.
The thought of it though, you go outside Gibson's at wide receiver and Burks in the slot. That's a dangerous combo if everyone's at 100%. Fingers crossed. I hope they get there.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
It pains me to do this because they're really, I mean, it was a great year. OU golf, they made the final 8, qualified. I think they end up in 3rd, I believe, in the first couple of rounds. And they made the match play. The top 8 teams make the match play. And wouldn't you know, we're paired with Oklahoma State, and they get the better of us. That was tough. That was brutal. I thought that they were coming alive on a march to maybe go do something special and just didn't have it.
It was, like you mentioned, another very successful season for Coach Hibble in the golf program. But there's just simply no doubt that your season ending via the hands of your in-state rival, not great. Just not great. Especially, doesn't it feel like OU Golf has taken over as the premier program in the state?
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, like
it really felt that way. Yeah,
the level of consistency that they've had
yep.
over the last several years for OSU to
Not
get
so
after
fast.
him in match play. Dude, I was watching it too, and it was causing me physical discomfort. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit, Ted. But hey, credit.
Especially whenever you tune in and the broadcast starts and you're like down in 3 of the matches. Why is the whole thing not on?
I don't understand. Maybe if they put a YouTube golf star in it, the whole thing could get televised.
I mean, we've got to have the morning golf shows on that you can put in all the pro shops around the country so guys can watch it while they have their coffee. Just put the national championship on, please.
Yeah, it was just like this 2-hour window of coverage.
Yep.
Put the national championship on. People will watch it. And also get the top tracer technology is super easy to have on every tee box. Just do it.
Just a guy standing there with the track man.
I want to see the kid from Ole Miss that won the national title with the short shorts and the weird swing. I want to see where that ball flight is going because it's unique to watch. I can't stop staring at the man's thighs while he's swinging. I'm like, gosh, that guy's shorts are short. But hey, you can't argue with it when you win the national title.
It's become like a pretty normal formula though, right? 5 of the final 8 are SEC schools. Same thing in softball. It's kind of shaping up that way in baseball. It looked that way in basketball, men's and women's. I mean, it kind of goes back to that Sankey thing, right? I mean, we've talked about this before, I think, as you get into the house settlement stuff and the teams that have the resources and that have all the money are making the huge TV deals, like the smaller schools, that 20 million allocation, football's going to chew up a lot of it if you want to stay competitive. And the other sports, I think, are going to struggle in some of the other conferences. And I think in the Big Ten and the SEC, you're going to continue to see them gain share of the championships and the teams in the tournaments.
It hurt to watch OU lose to OSU.
I know it.
Made me sad.
Brutal.
Great season, boys. Just a tough way for it to end.
Hated it.
Kind of a nightmare. What is losing to Texas in golf worse than losing to Oklahoma State?
No.
Because Texas is really good. In Oklahoma State, I'm not trying to make it sound like Oklahoma State is some poverty golf program now. We all know that's not true. They're really, really good. But I think losing to Oklahoma State's worse.
If you have a flooded Red River between you, I think it's a little bit better. Oklahoma State, just right up the street. That one's tough, especially whenever you feel like you said, in the golf race, it feels like we had secured the pass and we're comfortably out in front, and credit them. They played well. Man, you just get into match play and see what happens with some guys, and they just had it that day. It's rough, but there's always next year.
They have OSU's playing for the national championship, aren't they?
Yeah, how exactly does it work?
The national championship match will tee off at 4:25 p.m. with Golf Channel airing live coverage 5 to 9. Sweet. It's match play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's match play. Got your 5-on-5, baby. Let's see who wins.
It's good. It's a fun way to do it, really. I mean,
Do we want Oklahoma State to win? Like,
I
no?
don't.
Yes. I
It's a
don't
good.
want Virginia to win. Who cares about Virginia? You know what I'm
Is that
saying?
who it is? They're playing Virginia?
There's Cowboys and Cavaliers. So yeah.
Man,
Can I opt out of cheering?
yeah. Uh, just a disinterested third party watching. Yeah,
No, very much interested, just real no rooting interest. You know what I mean?
right. Ah, that's a tough one. It's one of those where it's hard to say yes, that's who you want to win, but kind of in the back of your head, you're like, it'd be better than Virginia, I guess. Bring some notoriety to the state.
I I plead the fifth. I probably want Oklahoma State to win. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, what? I don't know. I don't know. But hey, I'll watch it. I know that. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, if you're as passionate about OU sports as we are, now's your chance to make a difference with One Oklahoma. As the official NIL partner of the University of Oklahoma, One Oklahoma plays a crucial role in keeping the Sooners competitive in the SEC. Your subscription goes beyond the revenue sharing cap, directly helping recruit and support the athletes who become Sooner legends. Plus, you'll get access to exclusive events, behind the scenes content, merch, giveaways, and more. Join the team and be the difference maker for your Sooners. Join today at oneoklahoma.com. And three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise, it's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, for my winner of the week, softball fans, baby. It is Women's College World Series time in Oklahoma City. Sooners going for their fifth straight national title, which just still sounds crazy to say out loud. But first and foremost, here's to hoping the weather cooperates.
No kidding.
The amount of rain we've gotten has just been insane. I'm sick of it. I hope Mother Nature lets us see some softball this week, Ted.
It's one of those where I've just totally stopped looking at the weather, fully expecting more rain. And if I see sun, it's like it's a pleasant change in things, but I'm with you. Hopefully we get some good weather that can play this thing because I it's an interesting bracket and how it kind of landed with you. It looks like you've got a really strong side and then you've got maybe a weaker side, but Texas Tech is scaring me a little bit.
I remember when we talked to Patty Gasso, and she was very, very honest. I do not want to see Nyjah Kennedy until the Women's College World Series.
Yeah.
And luckily they're on the other side of the bracket.
Right.
So OU gets Tennessee Thursday at 1:30 p.m. and it's interesting. They got Bama, a team that beat them in a series in the Super Regional, handled business, and now they're getting the only team that handed them a home series loss this season in Tennessee. Remember, that was back in March, but I'm just not going to doubt this team. There's undoubtedly a bit of a different feeling going into this one.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel pretty good about them going and winning a national title. It doesn't feel as inevitable as it has the last couple seasons, but it does feel like OU's playing as well as they've played all season heading into this thing, and that's exactly what you want. If you're Patty Gasso, the only issue is Carlin Pickens is going to be in the circle for Tennessee, and she good.
She's good. It's been an interesting year. we usually start the season as the clear head and shoulders above the rest, number one, and it's just a waiting game until you get to the World Series. This year was different, and we all know all the reasons why. But after all of the season, some growing pains, they're playing their best softball right now. And as they enter the tournament, I think they're right back kind of where we all imagined. They seem like the team to beat right now. They're playing their best softball of the year. You never know what happens, but I feel like we are in a totally different place than the last time we faced Tennessee.
I completely agree. Feels like forever ago. And looking at the other games, Florida, Texas is going to be the first game on Thursday. That's OU side of the bracket.
Yeah,
That's a big one,
it's a big
and
one. It could go either way.
do you think OU fans will get there early so they can boo Mike White?
Sure, of course.
I'd almost be surprised if they don't.
They'll probably be waiting for them as they pull up to their hotel wherever they're checking in.
But that's two really good teams going at it, and yeah, it does feel like that side of the bracket, certainly kind of the heavy hitters are on that side. But I looking at the night slate of games, Ole Miss Texas Tech it's cool, right? First appearance for both of these programs in the Women's College World Series. And I think it's fair to say Texas Tech's investment in Kennedy has paid off.
It's crazy. And it's almost like the reason you want to root against Texas is because it kind of goes against everything that we want right now, to where you just go out and pay the best player, get some transfer portal players out of nowhere, and here you are in the World Series. And I you most of the other schools have built their programs over time, and it's just that's the nature of things. You pick up the right coach. I think he was at Louisiana, brought some transfers with him, go out and sign by far, head and shoulders, the best pitcher. And here you are with the chance to go win it.
It does it feel like the most pure way of doing it? No, but kind of respect that they did it so quickly.
They did it quickly. How do you do it? Go get a great coach, get the best pitcher. I mean, it's when you have a pitcher that dominates the way she does, if you can just get to this tournament, and she's got her stuff, you have literally have a chance to go win it.
There's no doubt. She's amazing.
Yep.
The other game, Oregon, UCLA, couple Big Ten powers battling it at the Women's College World Series. You got to love to see that, Ted.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and they played earlier in the year. Ducks took 2 or 3 over them, but it just, you never know how, for all these teams, you never know how these women are going to respond to the pressure of that setting, like the feeling of that stadium. That's what makes it really fun to watch for me.
Yeah. I just, not every year, but oftentimes as this thing goes on, there becomes kind of like a darling team. Tech fits that, other than how they acquired their pitcher. It is interesting. They're kind of the team that doesn't really fit, if that makes sense. You got a lot of these other programs have really been on the grind, on the march for years now, building to this spot. So I don't know who that team's going to be, if there is one at all.
I don't know how critical we can be of the Kennedy and Tech situation when Kelly Maxwell led us to a title last year. I know the money is different. I get that. I completely understand. There's a much bigger check that was cut for Kennedy, but softball's kind of been this way for a while with all the movement.
Yeah.
It just is. It was just kind of a record sum for the movement with Kennedy. So I don't know. I'm kind of, I mean, maybe I don't feel as passionately about the dollar figure that came with the Kennedy acquisition for Tech. I don't know. It clearly was worth it. Or maybe it
Oh,
wasn't. I don't know.
I, I mean, that's a good point. I guess I don't know.
They make it to the championship series. How much is that worth in Texas Tech branding? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I'm not. I hold nothing against Tech for doing what they did. I mean, that's the game. I mean, that's the nature of the beast right now. You got to do what you got to do to go compete. Um, I just don't want it to work for them.
Oh, that's fair. Sign me up for an OU Tech championship series.
OU Tech,
It'd be fun, man.
yeah.
I OU
Outside of
Texas
like
again.
OU Texas, OU Texas, I think would have like there's the most drama. Like if you face Tech, it's like everyone okay, you get it, but there's not much there as far as rivalry or there's just not a bunch built up with Tech. Tennessee, there's a little bit there. You know, they came and partied on in your house and handed it to you. Definitely, it's there with Texas, a little bit with Florida. Yeah, I don't know. I ultimately, I guess, I'd rather like to see Texas be two and barbecue, or let's see them in the finals. Like no in between. I either want to laugh at them or beat them in the finals.
That feels that feels correct. I think I think you're looking at it the right way. All right, for my loser of the week, the New York Knicks
Oh,
get beaten game 4 in Indianapolis and find themselves in a 1-3 hole in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Ted, maybe the Pacers are just a really good basketball team.
yeah.
And maybe they're just playing their best ball at the right time.
Yeah, it's interesting. You go back to that um was it game 1 where the Knicks had them and blew that lead, right? It's just changed everything. They had a chance. I mean, they were competitive to maybe get it back to even and head home with home court again, but they just could not get over the hump. They challenged a couple of times, but yeah, especially being at home, it was the Pacers were on. They have so many weapons, right? They can hit you a couple of different ways, and just tough. It feels like the Knicks just don't quite have the firepower to get it done.
It it feels like things are just a little easier for Indiana offensively than they are for New York.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
just get higher quality, stress-free shots more often than the Knicks do. And Halliburton and Siakam were awesome in game 4. I mean, Halliburton, you look at that line, 32, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers.
Woo.
I'm told it's the first time in NBA playoffs history that a player has had more than 30, more than 10 rebounds, 15 or more assists, and 0 turnovers.
That's a crazy stat line.
Siakam also had 30 and 5. Like, he's been a really good number 2 for them in the playoffs. He's playing at a really, really high level. I think Aaron Nesmith, turns out that guy's still a very good player, even with a sore ankle.
Yeah.
I really like how that dude plays, man. He's like if Aaron Nesmith is like if Lou Dort and Cason Wallace had a baby.
Yeah.
That's like he's got a little more offensive skill, kind of like Cason Wallace does, and then he's a little thicker build like Lou Dort. He's making things tough when he's guarding Brunson. Like he clearly's bought in on the defensive end of the floor, but he's got some offensive talent. Like he just a really good player, man.
Yeah. He is. And Siakam's just so I don't even know the way to classify how he plays, but that's back to back games with 30 plus, right? That's
Man
to
can
get that,
score.
yeah, to get that from your number 2 guy is really impressive.
You mentioned it did every time it felt like the Knicks would close the gap in the second half, like the Pacers responded in a big way.
Yep.
And pushed it to a more comfortable margin. Then it would get close and the Pacers would answer again. It was really, really impressive from the Pacers. And I thought like Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, like I thought they were
Towns was great early.
Yeah, they were really good, but the Pacers were better, man. And this now you start thinking back to the way that the Knicks fans celebrated after beating Boston. And I'm not trying to be a fun hater, man. Like you have to enjoy the ride. I get that. But maybe you shouldn't have thrown trash bags at the one guy. Okay? Maybe is this sports karma simply for those Knicks fans throwing trash bags at that one Pacers fan in New York? Like I don't know, but it feels
like they won the Super Bowl, right? And you kind of can you get back to that level? It's interesting.
I like watching the Pacers play.
Yeah.
Like a Pacers Thunder final is going to be awesome.
I mean, I hear people say that it's going to be like it's a good matchup, it's an interesting matchup, and will be fun, but nobody's going to watch. Is that true? I mean, do you think that that's the case? Do people, like, if you're a Knicks fan and you've been invested for the whole year, they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and they don't make it to the finals, like you just turn the TV off and you're done with basketball? Is that how that works? I can't imagine that's the case.
I always watch the NBA Finals.
I do too.
The Thunder haven't been in it for quite some time.
No.
I always watch it. And listen, I get that the Pacers and the Thunder, yeah, some of the smallest markets in the league. I totally understand that. But they're the two best teams right now.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the playoffs. That's the whole point of sports, is for the two best teams to play for the championship. It shouldn't matter what the ratings are. Sure. Do you want the NBA Finals to have big ratings? Yes. Do I care at all? No, I don't, because I like competition and I like watching basketball. And if the two teams that were clearly the best throughout the playoffs are playing for a title, guess what I'm going to do, Ted?
Watch?
I'm going to watch it because I like sports and I like basketball and I like watching teams compete, especially the two best teams. This notion that everyone's just not going to watch because it's two small market teams, like, frankly, I don't care.
It makes no difference. Like, and maybe it's like they say that, let's say it's the Lakers and the Knicks. Like, maybe you get a bump because there's more people from those towns that typically don't watch, but now you're in the finals and they do. I guess you could get a bump from that, but I'm no more likely to watch the Lakers Knicks than I am whoever the Minnesota and the Hornets, like whoever it doesn't matter to me at all where they're from, but maybe it matters to get a bunch of people that typically don't watch. I don't know. I don't care. I think it would be a great matchup. Let's just get there. That's all I care about. And there's nothing else going on. Like, what else are you going to watch right now?
Right. And the thing is, it's like the Thunder are, when you look at all of the stats, like they're a historically good team. If you don't want to watch them play in the NBA Finals, that maybe you just don't really like basketball that much.
Yes. Weird.
The Pacers, like watching the Pacers play the way they do offensively, it reminds me of like the mid 2000s tempo college football teams, right before everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
Like Oregon, OU, like just watching them push and push and push the pace of the game and just have the other team kind of constantly uncomfortable. Like, it's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I think that if you do not watch the NBA Finals because it's Thunder, Pacers, and they're both small market teams, then you just don't like basketball that much. because
Now,
they're the two best teams. And this whole thing, all of sports is all about getting the best teams to play for a championship. And that's what NBA fans are about to get. And if you don't like that, then I'm not sure you really like true competition.
right. It's a strange deal, and it's one that's unique to the NBA. You have you ever heard that in any other you don't ever hear that when it comes to the Super Bowl. You don't ever hear that when it comes to maybe it happens in baseball, but it's not something that I've ever really heard. It seems like it's a uniquely basketball phenomenon.
I hope all you big market snobs enjoy watching Thunder Pacers.
There you go.
It's going to be a great series. If it happens, we don't.
If it happens.
Let's not get the cart before the horse, okay? Birthday shout outs. Happy 78th birthday to Randall Wilkins.
Happy birthday to Russell Isaacs.
Happy birthday to Paula Jackal.
And congrats to Ricardo and Macy Sanchez on getting married.
Congrats, Sanchez's. Nice. On that note, episode 531 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our website, okbreakdown.com. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.
Boom.